Today, me and chat are going to be talking about some of the most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh decks that players are sleeping on. The meta has been solidified and some of the top decks are pretty much already in place. But me and chat think that these powerful decks, piloted by the right player, can sneak in and do some damage. Of course, big dog, as per usual, I'm going to be putting personal deck lists on my Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that's your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. Now, in case you guys didn't know, chat definitely doesn't know about this, but today is Update Monday, a particular portion of the video where we talk about something that can help you as a player, but more importantly, help you become a better person in life. You guys, oh, yo, you didn't know it was gonna be Update Monday. Yeah, Cali, get them videos out early now. Today for Update Monday, I wanna teach you guys about something really, really important: patience. Normally, I am not an advocate for patience. As an adolescent, that was something I just did not have. I wasn't a doctor, so I ain't got no patience. But as I got older, I started to realize that patience opens so many doors for you. If I would have stayed a little bit more patient in certain situations, I would have had more money, I would have had a better car. I don't think I would have had a better girl. I can't say that. But genuinely, patience is a virtue, just like how chat has been saying. It is incredibly important that when you're in a situation, that you take the time out to yourself to assess the situation and have patience for it. I promise you, there will be so many things you can gain from this. Just like how these strategies have been patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity to take over the meta. So with these top Yu-Gi-Oh decks, if you're patient enough to be able to realize their full potential, you'll be able to unlock something that's a little bit better. Let's go ahead and start off with the very first deck, Centurion. Centurion for that Turbo Calamity lock. Actually, Centurion is a lot different. I know that the deck is notoriously known for Calamity Lock, but the deck does so much more with the new cards from Legacy of Destruction. Centurion is a synchro-based Yu-Gi-Oh deck that does a couple of things really well. First of all, it has a ton of one-card combos, meaning that a lot of the deck can be dedicated to other non-engine cards like hand traps or board breakers, but more importantly, the new cards take it completely over the top. Centurion Auxilia is crazy good. Not only does it allow you to search Centurion cards from your deck to your hand, meaning that anytime you can synchro into 12, you can get your entire combo online from the extra deck. It also allows you to play around and play Dimensional Shifter, an angle that was lacking in previous Centurion build. Also, the new Wake Up Centurion Quick Play. Oh yeah, that card's crazy. The spell card gets you a free token to be able to synchro summon into your synchro monsters with, and also allows you to be able to send Centurion cards from your deck to the graveyard. I don't want to tell you how many times I was playing Centurion and needed a particular card in the graveyard, and this card sets the whole thing up. It makes the deck a lot more immune to hand effects or interruptions that your opponent may send at you, and it also makes the deck a lot more consistent while adding more dimensions and layers. But let's not act like it still can't summon Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Calamities and just ruin a player's day. Can Centurion play under Nib? Yes. The deck summons exactly 4 times and passes its turn. So if there's some other decks that you guys want to talk about, I'm seeing a lot of Chimera, Virtual World, DDD, Yugi's Retrain deck. Okay, let's talk about all of them. Virtual World we talked about as a great budget deck. DDD is a great engine, but Chimera is probably best engine right now. From my perspective, players have been looking at Chimera wrong. They want to use their Chimera deck how they use normal Yu-Gi-Oh decks. A ton of hand traps to stop your opponent, and then you go with your Chimera combo, which doesn't go well if Chimera gets hand trapped. I'm telling you guys right now, as a Chimera connoisseur, getting Ash Blossom sucks almost no matter what. When you build Chimera in a way where you want to interrupt your opponent and also play Yu-Gi-Oh at the same time with most modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks, I don't think it's an effective way. But when you build Chimera similar to how you build Branded, that's when you start to see that the deck is a lot more powerful. Board breakers are back, being a reliable method in the game, and Chimera thrives with that. Chimera makes Beatrice Sin Dark Statue Revive Statue Chimera Fusion. Bro, why y'all always gotta be toxic? Yes, Chimera does have some pretty toxic traits, especially since powerful fiend monsters like the End of Anubis and the Dark Barrier statue does exist. And your Chimera Fusion monsters can banish themselves to special summon them to your side of the field. But I personally think that gimmicky cards don't get you far. And fortunately enough, Chimera doesn't rely on gimmicky strategies in order to be really good. Nightmare Apprentice makes the deck far more consistent than it once was. Nightmare Magician goes crazy in the battle phase. If you decide to play it, I don't think it's a bad card at all. Not to mention, Mirage Mirror Force is also a thrust target. You're gonna make me do it, I think that there's a ton of nuance with however you play the deck. There's so many ways, and it's still underexplored right now, mainly because the illusion monsters are just barely coming out. And with every set, they get more and more powerful. You guys got any other ideas? Cyber Dragon cooks with the right player. Bro, he's not wrong. I genuinely hate that you're not wrong. And the reason why is because Clockwork Knight is really good already against decks like Tenpai Dragon. And since we're more towards a Link base, just being able to special summon a Cyber Dragon can eat your opponent's entire board. Cyber Dragon D's nuts. I hate it here. We're not coping here, chat. Salad looking kind of good with Coal of Soul, letting you reincarnate Link Pyro Phoenix on opponent's turn. I think that a lot of people are not paying attention in Solomon Greats, and it's a mortal crime. I made a deck profile on Solomon Greats a couple of weeks ago before the ban list, and that deck is complete fire, literally. Solomon Great is a Link-based Yu-Gi-Oh deck that can play under Nibiru. In actuality, it makes Nibiru look really bad. In the right player's hands, this deck can make some really scary boards. Is the genuine fire deck that takes full advantage of Solomon Great Raging Phoenix, but now because of Code of Soul can use Pyro Phoenix if you decided to. And with less Omni Negations being played, Solomon Great is one of the very few strategies that can search its own Omni Negation and Solomon Great Roar. Also, let's not forget the classic Ibli Knock still exists. Chat, I try to steer players away from toxicity, but every time I turn around, you guys just want to get more and more toxic. I will never get over Vanquish Soul being a really good Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Somehow, some way, since this deck's inception, it has been able to top every major Yu-Gi-Oh event, at least once a format. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Vanquish Soul is so much of my favorite deck. I got everything max rarity. You won't believe how much it cost me. Hold on. I bet you won't guess how much this cost me, chat. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist? It was definitely an arm and a leg. Bruh. Look, guys, Callie is holding rent for the... I hate this deck. I think the reason why people don't like Vanquish Soul is because it requires a genuine brain to play. The deck is so hard and can punish you for making just the simplest mistake. But the basis of the deck is still incredibly simple. Your Vanquish Soul little guys like Pantera and Razin are column-based at getting you free destruction, which is really important. But also Matlove, Razin, and Stake Your Soul are the cards to get you into your engine. Because the deck is so reliant on attributes, cards like Dimension Shifter, Catch Terra Fenrir, and even Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring become really interesting uses. If you don't use them to stop your opponent, you keep them in your hand to be able to get your resources through your Vanquish Soul effects. Pantera has an effect. I was looking at the art, my brother in Christ. You can't keep doing this. Hold on. I ain't gonna lie though. He cooking on the art part. Pantera is just Callie's Yu-Gi-Oh version of Vaporeon. Is it a shame that I have Vaporeon right beside me? That's why I know grasses. Okay, look. Say Panthera walks into your room. You wouldn't? You wouldn't? You wouldn't? And the last strategy that I think is incredibly good right now that a lot of players are really sleeping on is Tearlament. It's good, guys. Let's just accept it. Tearlament has been about 2-3 years old, and it's still a strategy that just won't give up. The new Lightsworn cards even breathe more life into it, because being able to send from the deck to the graveyard is still good. You shut your mouth, I'm unsubbing. I still got PTSD from Tearlament. Maybe players shouldn't realize that Tearlament has a way to stop monster summons and prevent your monsters from being destroyed by battle in Brukalos, and still does have access to an Omni Negation and totally awesome. Maybe they should. I've always thought that one of the most busted things about Tearlament is not that it can fuse from the graveyard, is that you can actually destroy your opponent's cards from fusing in the graveyard with the field spell. You guys can hate tier limit all you want. That's probably the reason why it isn't being played as much. And that's why tier limit is kind of dumb. It has so many cards on the list and it's still not unfair, or it's still not fair. All right.